out that noise of, whether we're talking about policy and pay and all those different things, of really thinking about your purpose, because years and years and years from now, these students come back and they remember everything that you say. I've had a chance to work with some of his coworkers, and they say things that I've said, and I'm like, absolutely, that sounds just like me. I know I said that. And so think about the impact that you're making every day. I had a little girl who I could barely remember her name, and she credited me for her becoming a nurse. And I turned back around and I said, no, your family did that. I just reinforced what your family was already telling you. I was just a separate person that also told you what your family was already doing. So I would say really lean into the students. Don't let any conflicts with adults or thinking about pay or policy or workload weigh you down. Think about the impact that you're going to make, because you're making it. It just doesn't feel like it sometimes, but you're making it.
Love that. Great advice. Thank you so much. So let's talk a little bit about your time so far as a principal. So this is everyone. We are super excited to have Principal Lauren Smith from the great state of Texas, the city of Tyler, on the My K12 Career Show to share her story, her journey with our viewers and our listeners. Principal Smith is in her second year as principal at Orr Elementary School, but she's been a leader for many years. Before she was at Orr Elementary School, she was also an assistant principal and a dean at one of the local high schools in Tyler, Texas. So she brings a wealth of knowledge and experience to this profession. And we're connected on LinkedIn, and I asked her to be one of our special guests, and she accepted. And I'm grateful that she was willing to come on the show to share her story, her journey with our viewers and our listeners. So Principal Lawrence, thank you so much for coming on the show. What's going on in your life and in your K-12 career right now?
Oh man, I am just so excited. It's been a wonderful year thus far. Of course, I got my own little babies, an 8-year-old and a 5-year-old, and they keep me busy and trying to get everything together. And I've been really excited this year to be working on my campus, and we have some new plans coming up. So I'm just excited to unfold all the wonderful things in the spring.
That's awesome. So how long have you been in? Is this the Tyler Independent School District?
Yes, it is. It's a Tyler Independent School District. And so we're, a city about 100,000 people or so, maybe 90 miles east of Dallas. So, kind of large, but still a little small.
Sure. Oh, that's a nice size. How long have you been there?
I believe this is my 8th or 9th year in Tyler ISD, but this is my 5th district to work in. So a lot of, I took the teaching and coaching route, which got me to look around a little bit. But I've been trying to stay home here in Tyler, and so I've been enjoying it thus far.
That's awesome. So if this is your 5th district, wow, how many years you've been in this profession?
Ooh, I'm thinking, I used to hear people lose count, and now I'm one of them. I'm thinking I'm about 14 years. I think it's 14, maybe getting ready to go into 15.
Wow, that's really cool. Yeah, that's a while. And, I'm sure you've had a lot of diverse experiences, and I'll be honest, one of the reasons why I even started this show was because I feel like we're the greatest profession in the world. We're the profession that makes all of the professions possible, and I just don't feel like we get our flowers. And so I just wanted to showcase and celebrate educators like yourself that have put in the work and have given back to the school community. In your case, 14, 15 years, that's amazing. So we honor you for doing all that great work.
Thank you, and yourself as well.
Thank you. Yeah, I've been doing it. Oh my God, I've been doing it almost 30 years, but we're not going to talk about that. We're here talking about.
All right.
But anyway, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. But yeah, what made you get into K-12 education? Because I've always believed that education gives us opportunities. So clearly with you getting your education, you could have chosen any number of careers. What made you choose K-12 education?
You know what? I am the daughter of a retired biology teacher and basketball coach. And my dad did some jobs like in a factory, but eventually started working as a paraprofessional or teacher's assistant. and ultimately ended up working at a college. And so it was kind of already in my blood. I tried to straighten. I was like, oh, I'm going to do this, because I didn't want to take the same path my parents did. But as soon as I got out of college, I was like, I want to be a teacher. So my passion was reading. I love reading. I've written 2 books. Wow. And so I'm just super excited about those things. And so that was my passion. So I wanted to teach people how to read. And then I wanted to teach people how to play sports and just the, athletic enjoyment that you get. And so I started off as a basketball teacher and reading teacher.
That's awesome. So you were a basketball coach?
Yes. I was a basketball coach in the Dallas area.
Wow. Were your teams any good? Did y'all, how far did you?
You know what?
You're talking to a fellow coach. I used to coach girls and boys. So it's, what they say, once a coach, always a coach. So
once a coach, always a coach. It's in your blood and it puts a little toughness on you there. So with that, we've had some really good teams. We've had some that didn't perform as well on the basketball court, but we would knock you out in academics. And so a lot of those kids are still, I consider them to be friends to this day. So it's just a wonderful experience.
That's amazing. That's awesome. So did you ever sub before you actually became a teacher? Had you had some experience in the classroom? I know your parents were in the profession, but what was your experience?
I did. I actually went the traditional route of, I went through the education program. Okay. I ended up graduating in December. So graduated in December, getting ready to start a recession. I think that was 2008, somewhere in there. Sure. And so whenever I did that, I started subbing actually in Louisiana schools. I was subbing in Shreveport and really liked it. It seemed fairly simple. The kids seemed to like me. So I was like, okay, let's try this out. And I started applying for jobs and got one.
That's awesome. Shreveport. You just brought back a lot of memories. I got married in Shreveport. Wow. Were you in Caddo Parish schools?
You know what? I stayed a little bit closer to Bossier and Airline.
Okay, Bossier City.
I was over in that area. My mom was a college basketball coach at that time at Southern Shreveport. And so I was living at home and subbing and, trying to get my life together and go into teaching.
Wow. So basketball is in your blood. Your mom was a college coach?
She was.
Wow. That's amazing. You said she was at LSUS?
No, she was at Southern and Shreveport.
Oh, Southern and Shreveport. Okay.
Southern and Shreveport, also known as Sutherland.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, you're talking to someone that grew up in Baton Rouge. So I have a lot of love for LSU. I have a lot of love for Southern. My sister graduated from Southern. And
awesome.
Like I said, I got married in Shreveport. So, a lot of fond memories of Shreveport, Louisiana. Yeah. That's really cool. Okay. Wow. Well, let's kind of fast forward to the present a little bit now that we have a little bit of background as to why and how you got into the profession. What was the transition? Was it year 6, 7, 8, where you said, you know what, I love coaching, I love teaching, but, I'm a future administrator?
You know what? It's an unpopular thing to say. I always saw myself as a teacher and a coach. Principal that I had was telling me about something that she wanted me to do. And she was like, well, you could be an administrator. And I'm just like, ma'am, I want to be the basketball coach. I just want to teach kids this and I want to read. And I kept hearing it a little bit more. And so as I went to school, I did go get my degree in administration, but, it was more so I wanted to make myself more marketable in sports. And so with that, that kind of started it. And then I had to do the internship, but I was never in a rush. I think I was maybe 9-10 years in before I even, was interested in that. So I was never in a rush to do it. I just really was all about teaching kids to read.
That's powerful. And I totally agree with you. I didn't actually become an administrator until year 12, I believe, for me, because I just love coaching. I love teaching, and I was making an impact on young people's lives in those arenas. And I was willing to do that. And maybe eventually an AD or something like that. But, just never thought I would be an administrator. But, truthfully for me, it was just about the money. I was like, okay, I need to make more money to support my family. So that's why I got into administration. But so thank you for sharing that. There's people that are watching you right now, Principal Smith. What would you say to them if they're teaching coaching? Is there a need for administrators in these schools, especially administrators that look like me and you?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I would say that, when you're coaching, you get to coach the whole child. So you get to talk to them about perseverance, different things, the way you work in adversity and just consistency and all the things that you really need to be successful in life outside of our foundational academic systems and education that we need to learn.
Sure.
There's a need. There's a lot of things that our community pretty much everywhere will need support in. The parents want you to support their child. And so absolutely, I would think that the impact as far as whether it's administration or whether it's just coaching and teaching and being that mentor, I find them equally valuable.
Sure. That's fair. So yeah, okay, well, that's good to know because like I said, a lot of times, especially given all that we've gone through as a country, as a world, really, not just a country, these last 3 or 4 years with the pandemic and whatnot, I know it's had a really tough impact on the K-12 profession in particular with having to educate students through a computer screen and all the stuff that's with that. So yeah, I'm like you, I feel like there is a need 100% for more Black and brown people to get in the leadership ranks. But I'm also like you. I feel like, hey, if your passion is teaching, if your passion is coaching, then by all means continue to, make an impact like that. But also there are people that are watching us right now, truthfully, Principal Smith, that might be thinking about getting out of the profession. Maybe they just, mental health is a real thing, right? And, they might be thinking, hey, it's just been really tough with all that's gone on with the pandemic and yeah, we're out of it now, but it still in some ways might have traumatized me, my family, and made me take a closer look at my mental health. What would you say to those people that are thinking about maybe leaving the profession?
I would tell you to really lean into the students that you serve. Really lean into the students that you serve. Lean into the ones that are very quiet, that may not tell you how much they appreciate you. Lean into the parents that are sometimes very busy and they don't get a chance to say thank you, but they truly are appreciative of what you do. Kind of cut out that noise of, whether we're talking about policy and pay and all those different things, of really thinking about your purpose, because years and years and years from now, these students come back and they remember everything that you say. I've had a chance to work with some as coworkers and they say things that I've said. And I'm like, absolutely, that sounds just like me. I know I said that. And so think about the impact that you're making every day. I had a little girl who I could barely remember her name, and she credited me for her becoming a nurse. And I turned back around. I said, no, your family did that. I just reinforced what your family was already telling you. I was just a separate person that also told you what your family was already doing. So I would say really lean into the students. Don't let any conflicts with adults or thinking about pay or policy or workload weigh you down. Think about the impact that you're going to make, because you're making it. It just doesn't feel like it sometimes, but you're making it.
That great advice. Thank you so much. So let's talk a little bit about your time so far as a principal. So this is year number 2, correct?
It is.
Okay. So how was your first year, and how have things gone as you transition into your second year?
So our first year, I spent a lot of time getting to know a lot of what the campus needed, a lot of what people told me went well, some things that we could probably improve upon, some things that were going to be happening in education coming up this year and next year that we need to prepare for. I enjoyed it. I got so many hugs, because I'm coming from high school and middle school, you don't get that many hugs there. And so I got a lot of hugs, a lot of appreciation, and it just made me want to work even harder. I feel like I've been called to do it. I feel very blessed and honored, thankful to my district that, gave that opportunity to me and saw something in me to keep pushing forward. So I would say, it was just a wonderful experience.
That's awesome. And so has year 2 been more of the same?
Year 2 is totally different. Year 2 is totally different because we are embarking in some school action fund planning. So we're looking at some different ways to give different experiences to students and working more to be more of a college prep model for my campus. So it's a lot of work. It's required of me to be in the office a little bit more than what I really like to, but I'm excited about the opportunity of things that we're going to be able to give to students next year.
Awesome. So what are the demographics of your school? Is it a diverse school?
Well, we have about 680 to 83 students. We are pre-K or Head Start through 5th grade. We run monolingual and bilingual classes. So you have some students that are getting some instructions in mostly Spanish and students that are not. And so we are about 62%, 63% Hispanic, about 30 to 33% African American, and then we have other populations that are kind of in the other. And so we are pretty diverse. We're a high eco-dis campus. We have about 92% economically disadvantaged students. But one of the things that I will really say that our campus has is a large sense of pride. We have so much pride. Our parents have a lot of pride in the way what they think about the school. We are blessed to have retired educators that live all around us, work members. So it's very much a care community. So you'll see people walking their dogs and out. And I saw a little girl rollerblading about 2 weeks ago. So a lot of pride in there, a lot of people that, work at Orr. They've also been students at Orr. So that's been a blessing and holds us to a really high standard. And we just, keep working to get better, to give better experiences to kids.
Awesome. So you brought up a really good point. I truly feel like it takes a village to raise our students. How involved are your parents? And do you agree that it really does take the school and the community working hand in hand with the families to ensure that our students get what they need to be successful?
Oh, for sure. I really embrace a lot of the parent feedback, a lot of parent interactions. I don't even necessarily mind if the feedback is positive or negative, because I just want to hear what's on people's minds. Because
Sure.
once you hear 2 or 3 times, you're thinking, okay, that is something that people are saying, so I need to be working on those, and that's something I need to bring before committee. So it is powerful, because if you get parents to understand what your goal and your mission is, they feel safe and comfortable dropping off their babies every day to pretty much for you to in your care. So like even in the morning, we'll be out in the morning playing music, and we'll have about 5 or 6 adults greeting kids, going to cars, doing those things, because we want people to see us and know that this is a partnership.
Absolutely.
And even in partnerships, people have disagreements, but still knowing that it is a partnership and we're here to listen and serve as well.
I love that. Wow, that sounds like you have a really good, engaged campus where your stakeholders are really involved. That's really cool. So let's say hypothetically, I don't see this happening, but let's say that we don't connect and we don't communicate over the next 5 years. And let's fast forward all the way to 2029. Where is Principal, or is it even Principal Lawrence Smith 5 years? Where are you at 5 years from now?
Man, I hate to give you a cliche answer, but my God, I'm gonna be somewhere getting better. And that's what it's gonna be. I'm gonna be somewhere getting better. I'm gonna be somewhere growing and learning. One thing I don't want to do is I don't ever want to get stagnant and get into this is the way we've always done it. Our superintendent has a quote, that tradition will get you beat. And in that sense of saying, just doing the same things over and over. So wherever you see Laura Smith, she is going to be getting better, learning, growing, embracing myself, embracing my personal family, and then the community that I'll be serving. So
that's awesome. Yeah, that's a great answer, because it sounds like from that answer that you're a lifelong learner and just committed to learning, growing, and getting better. So yeah, I love that answer. Yeah. And I've done over 100 of these interviews, and I pretty much ask that question every interview, and I don't think I've heard anyone say that. So that's really cool. I like that.
You got to check me out in 5 years, and so you can see that not only did I say it, but it's true.
100%. You talk to Superintendent Dr. Lawrence Smith. I love that. That'd be cool. 100%. Well, that's really awesome. And I'm super grateful that you came on the show, because I know you're busy. So I really appreciate you just taking the time out of your busy schedule to come on the show. But before you leave, Principal Smith, can you please share some parting words of wisdom? Tell us how we can connect with you, and then we'll say goodbye.
Oh, wow. Okay. So my parting words are just going to be that I'm assuming that people that are watching this have an interest in education. So I will just say, continue to just get better, be patient. Don't get so caught up on quote unquote the people in it, because that can run you away from the purpose. So stick, less attention to the people, but more attention to your purpose and what you are here to do for students. You can connect with me at apluswords.com or apluswordsllc.com. That's my information. He kind of put me on the spot a little bit when he asked me about my information. I'm on LinkedIn. It's Lauren Smith at Orr Elementary. So I'm here. I think Twitter is apluswords. So you can connect, and I'll be here.
That's awesome. And yeah, the next time we connect, we need to talk more about your other passion as it relates to writing and the fact that you're a published author and all that great stuff. So we'd love to get into that. And also, if you share some information on how they can buy your book, we can definitely put that in the show notes as well. So
awesome. That's on Amazon.
Okay, it's on Amazon. That's why y'all heard it here.
Both of them awesome. On Amazon.
Well, we'll definitely put those in the show notes so people can, just check you out. And also, I would just share with you that I was just looking at a stat. I don't know if you're aware of this, that over half of people do more audible books than they do actual reading books. So you might want to take those actual written books and make an audible. Just something to think about,
Gotcha.
So anyway, thank you so much for coming on the show, Principal Smith. I can tell that there's greatness within you, and I feel like the future is so bright for you. And I just want to put that out in the universe that we haven't seen the best from Principal Lauren Smith by a long shot.
It's good. I like it.
All right. Well, thank you so much again for coming on the show, and we wish you all the best. And we'll definitely stay in touch.
Yes, sir. Thank you. And you have a great day.
Thank you.